gonna try to do this as long as Jax will let me. Because it's time. We're gonna talk about Swain. I have to be honest, I did a very bad job of getting footage while I was at Swain the last time I was there because while it was an Indy Pass redemption, Swain is my mountain. I think Swain is what made me want to get an Indy Pass. It's made me want to go to these smaller mountains because I love going to Swain. Located in the town of Grove in the Hamlet of Swain, Swain Resort is the oldest independently owned ski resort in Western New York, operating continuously since 1947. This town, I mean, you turn off the main road and it is this cute little town village with a train track and condos, houses, the local restaurant, the one church, and then you get to the base of the mountain. It is like small mountain vibes from the get-go. I kind of want to keep Swain a secret. Kind of don't want to oversell it. But I'll just keep sharing a little bit more about it and then you guys can make your own decisions. Let's talk about what you're going to find terrain-wise at Swain. It is not a high vertical. It is not a large mountain. You gotta like your lift rides because they're a little bit slower. But for what they work with, it works really well. Swain's got some steep steeps that I've been known to slide down them, you know, on my butt or my back. But they also have some really good greens for beginners. Some of my favorite things to do at Swain is one, Last Will and Testament. So those are the two slopes. Last Will's the top, Testament's the bottom. It's a slightly narrower steep and it's fun. Even on like not the best days, it's fun. It's a little bit narrow, it's nice and steep, but it's over pretty quickly. And the conditions are always pretty good. Even though it's shaded by trees, it almost stops it from being blown off and getting icy because of that. So definitely want to check out. You can also play in the trees at Swain, and they're great learning glades. I'm not a big glade person, but these, the last time we went, we were in them so much. I think that Swain puts a smile on my face, not because of the terrain. If I'm gonna be honest, it's like a 2 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5 just because there's not a ton there. There's like 13 ways down the mountain. It's a blue heavy mountain, which don't get me wrong, I actually love blues. Maybe that's why I love Swain. So you're gonna find a lot of blue intermediate terrain, and I would say it's pretty true intermediate, but the runs aren't long, so that even if a beginner finds himself in like a challenging situation, it's over fairly quickly. The runs are fun. Their racing section, their Black Diamonds, where they do their racing, they're no joke. They can be pretty intense, especially if they are icy. So you're definitely going to find challenging runs, but short runs, which is why I would say even for all of that I love about the terrain, it's not really like seek outable. So we'll give it a 3 out of 5 just because they have a lot of options between their steeps. They have got trees. They've got a beautiful selection of blues. And even for beginners, I think it's a great place to learn because there's a lot of gradual building up that you can do there. I often like to talk about a mountain, about the people who go there. And I think this is where Swain wins because it just feels like everybody is a regular. Even the people who aren't regulars, it's just like we all just fall into a rhythm. Just crossing paths with people in the lodges, on the lift lines, I always find it to be just people who love the sport are at Swain. And I think that's why I love going there because I feel like I'm around my people. It's just a very easy mountain to come be on. So whether you're by yourself, you're with a few people, you want to bring your full family, everyone can enjoy it. It's easy to break off and come back together. And it just feels like the vibes are pretty high with who is there because everybody loves skiing and that's why they came to Swain. Something really interesting that happened at Swain recently is it changed ownership. into younger hands. So it's been very interesting, and I will also use an overused word. It's been very cool to see the switch into someone, you know, closer to my age running a ski resort, and just the steps they're taking to keep the business going. It's very family friendly. They love to plan events, but they also love to keep people around. And it just feels like everybody who works at Swain really cares about Swain. So I feel like every mountain I go to, I'm going to be giving these ratings, but like for the people who work there, 5 out of 5. They are friendly. They answer questions. It feels like Swain is their home. And honestly, for most of the people, Swain probably is their home. Yeah, always a pleasant time with the people who work there. When it comes to, before I get to overall experience at Swain, the last thing I like to talk about is the vibes, the lodge, just the experience of being at Swain. And I think this is where I started talking about it. It's just that ski mountain resort vibe that I'm looking for. It's the people parked up to the snow, booting up and getting right on the lifts. It is everybody at the bar knowing each other and squeezing over so someone else can come up to it. It's, you know, families watching their ski racers grow up together. So the vibes at Swain are just what you want from a small indie mountain. Inside the lodge, you're going to find a couple different sections. It's one main lodge. They've got their main cafeteria section, boot up section. There are some opportunities to put your bags into cubbies. They've got couches. They've got benches. They've got, you know, the classic cafeteria tables attached to their grill area. And then they also have like a second room, which can often be used maybe for like a ski racing event. But for the most part, it's open to public, and it's got, you know, comfier seating, views out into the slopes, and it's just a great place to hang out. They'll have their sit-down restaurant and bar, which is where you will find me every time I go to Swain when I am done getting a hot chocolate and a plate of french fries at minimum. Mug club, really nice grill food, beer options. If you just close your eyes and say, I'm going to go to a small independent mountain, you're going to see that big brown lodge. It's going to have seats and couches and people and families having peanut butter and jellies right next to people having plates of fries. And that's just what puts a smile on my face about Swain. It's just how everyone acts when we're off the mountain there. I know I have to be honest with the overall rating for Swain, but I don't want to be, because Swain overall is like a 4 out of 5 for me. I want to take that whole vibe and like put it on a bigger mountain and still have the same experience. I just know that I'm going to enjoy my whole time there, even with the slow lift rides and, you know, the repetitiveness of the terrain, where I'm going to be doing the same 6 runs over and over again. I have to be honest and say it's a 3 out of 5 mountain. I think people should come check it out, but I also know people aren't going to necessarily want a road trip to Swain just to sit on lifts and not have any vertical and have a very redundant ski day. I get that. It's a great independently owned mountain. I love that it has changed hands. I love that they are investing appropriately into it. Like, I don't feel like Swain needs anything. It doesn't need a faster lift. It doesn't need another lift. They figured out other ways to make it a place you want to go to with carnival events and, like, you know, cardboard classic and dummy races. I think they're just building a great ski community. So if you have an Indy Pass, I would go check it out. If you live in Western New York, I would definitely consider it a spot that you should be going to during your ski season. For me, it is just what going to a ski mountain is supposed to feel like. So I give it a high rating, but if I'm honest, it's a 3 out of 5, but you would enjoy your entire time there. That's something I can pretty much guarantee.
Speed it up. Make it look like I was going real fast.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, not trying to figure out if that's a rock. Ah! Oh, don't worry, I got it all on film.